Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome to my zone online school. My name is Oswald Ndoda, and with me here is Pamwene. Let's wave to greet him. Right, before we continue, let's observe the sanitizing of our hands. Inside the palm, outside, in between the fingers. And let's also stretch out our hands to observe the social distance. And lastly, you also would need to put on your mask. Right, boys and girls, COVID-19 has disturbed a lot of things, including our coming to school, but nevertheless, let's keep on learning online. Let's keep on reading widely. Come across newspapers, magazines, and anything that your hands can land on. Please, let's continue reading to make sure that by the time we come back to school, we will be still remembering our work. Right. Today's lesson is going to be on collective nouns. All right, let us turn to page 3 of our booklets. Collective nouns, what are they? A collective noun is the name given to a group of animals, people, objects, ideas of the same kind, e.g., a herd of cattle, a flock of sheep, a bouquet of flowers. Collective nouns are considered as one unit and they are singular. Right, collective nouns. As the name suggests, collective, this is a grouping either of people, of animals, or anything that are similar. If they're in a group, that becomes a collective. So the name that we give to them is the collective noun. Collective nouns are considered as one unit and they are singular, which means they are not a plural. It's always a singular. A collective noun is a descriptive way of saying lots of, like lots of books. Should we always say lots of books? What is the collective noun for lots of books? One can say a library of books. Right. However, we should not use lots of in speaking or writing, as this is slang or colloquialism. Think of better words to use in place of lots of. For example, if you wanted to say lots of people sound like a lot of elephants, you could rather say the crowd sounds like a herd of elephants. So the word the crowd is coming in place of lots of people, and the word herd is coming in place of lots of elephants. So the crowd sounds like a herd of elephants. Example number 2, instead of lots of birds are flying in the sky, you would say the flock of birds is flying in the sky. So flock becomes the collective noun for a group of birds. So we say a flock of birds is flying in the sky. The word team represents a group of people in a sporting activity. So team is a collective noun. So what we mean here is at school, I know you have different teams, either of soccer, that is football. You may have netball, volleyball, baseball, rugby, hockey, etc. So a group of a particular people who share one thing in common, which is, for example, netball. We call it a team. So team becomes a collective noun. Therefore, all words used for a group of things, people, etc., are called collective nouns. Examples: class of students, a staff of teachers, a clan of hyenas, an army of soldiers, a brood of hens, an orchard of fruit trees, etc. We can use the collective noun without using the noun to which it refers. We can use the collective noun without using the noun to which it refers. For example, the staff of teachers, that is, the army of soldiers, the choir of singers. So if we simply say the staff, we know we are talking about teachers. If we say the army, we know we are talking about the soldiers. If we say the choir, we know we are talking about a group of singers. Now, before we move on to the next page, I would like you to name collective noun that you know. Right, boys and girls, let's refer to page 4. Let's open on page 4 of our booklets. These are activities for the collective nouns. Complete the phrases using the collective nouns in the box. Right, the collective nouns in the box, we have swarm, litter, army, flock, fleet, chest, deck, shawl, album, pair, library, troop, pride, peck, and plug. All right. So you choose one to complete the phrases which are shown. For example, number 1, it says a dash of sheep. We say a flock of sheep. And dash of photographs. We say an album of photographs. So from number 3 up to the last one, you do them on your own. Let's quickly look at activity 2. Read the passage. It says, underline all the collective nouns in the passage below. We underline the collective nouns, or you highlight if you have a highlighter. I remember our first school outing so well. My friends, my teacher, and I visited a farm in the Omaheke region. After we arrived, a team of oxen pulled us on a huge wagon to the barn. There we were able to feed an entire flock of sheep and the lambs too. We saw a herd of cows being milked. The brood of hens were most upset when the farmer took a clutch of eggs from their nest. My best friend and I collected small bundles of sticks and put them in our pockets. We kept them as souvenirs. Right. That's the paragraph, that's the passage. Now, on page 5, it says, write 6 sentences using collective nouns from the passage. Remember, I said in the passage, you highlight the collective nouns or you underline them. Now, you pick 6 of them and write sentences. Okay. The next activity 3, write the missing words in the spaces provided. Write the missing words in the spaces provided. The words are fish, crowd, tools, stairs, bunch, bench, pair, birds. The first one, a dash of people. We say a crowd of people. Boys and girls, that is fairly easy. You can proceed completing those phrases using the given words. Let's quickly move to activity 4. On the same page, it says, use the words in the box to complete each sentence. This exercise is similar to the one in exercise 3. Nevertheless, these are now sentences. The words are show, flight, swarm, wolves, crowd, pair, outfit, head, chest. A dash of narrow steps led to the cabin. We would say a pair of narrow steps led to the cabin. All right. Our milk comes from the herd of Jersey cows. So, boys and girls, what remains is for you to complete. Let's turn to the next page, which is page 6. Activity 5, fill in the blank spaces using the words in the box below. Write the best possible answer for each collective noun. Right. The answers are given at the bottom. Army, head, choir, chest, pocket, litter, bouquet, bale, fleet, bowl, band, and bundle. Example number 1, a dash of flowers. We would say a bouquet of flowers. So we do the rest on our own. Make sure you write correct spellings. Right, activity 6. What does it say? Draw a line from the collective noun on the left to the correct noun on the right. Right, on the left we are given collective nouns, from flock to quiver. So you join to the actual nouns which are on the right, the common nouns which are on the right. The first one has been done for you. Flock, we say a flock of birds. Boys and girls, let's quickly complete the remaining part. And activity 7, our activity 7 says, who does these collective nouns describe? Who does these collective nouns describe? This is on page 7. Write the common noun in the box next to the correct collective noun. Write the common noun in the box next to the collective noun. We have directors, ships, thieves, ants, hens, horses, cards, fish, peacocks, vipers, and flingers. Right. Common nouns, write the common noun in the box next to the correct collective noun. Right. A gang of dash, a school of dash, a colony of dash, a brood of dash, a stud of dash, a hen of dash, a fleet of dash, a board of dash, a master of dash. Right. A gang of thieves. You do the rest. All right, still on our page 7 of the booklet, activity 8 says, read the passage and answer the questions below. Right, let's follow through as I read so that we will be able to answer the questions on the next page. Right, it says, at sunrise one day, the peace at Etosha National Park was shattered. A flock of birds flew up into the sky, twittering to themselves. The animals were on high alert. A patrol of wardens had arrived with men driving a convoy of trucks to clear the park of the invader bush. The animals were forced to move out of their natural habitats. A troop of monkeys fled swinging from tree to tree, making chattering sounds. The pride of lions roared and walked away proudly. The head of elephants trumpeted and stampeded off, making clouds of dust. A large swarm of bees followed the queen bee in search of a new place to nest. A colony of ants scurried away from the danger. A pack of wild dogs gnashed their teeth and barked at the intruders. A nest of snakes slithered into the long grass. Sorry. The entire park was in uproar. The men sawed and chopped until the sun was setting. Finally, the noise from their machines died down. The men loaded the heaps of rubbish onto their lorries. The animals were nervous. They did not return until the next day. The clumps of trees that remained were just what they enjoyed eating from and sleeping in. The stress of their ordeal was worth it. Right. That's it, boys and girls, for the passage. Now we move on to the next page. Remember, as you read the passage, it's important to highlight the collective nouns. Right. On the next page, on page 8, there are some questions. So we do those questions, try to answer them in full. And boys and girls, remember, we have ended our lesson here, but we don't confuse these nouns, the collective nouns. Remember, we also did proper nouns, we did common nouns, and earlier on we looked at abstract nouns. So these are collective nouns. So make sure you all understand them. Right, I also talked about the sanitizing, which maybe we should practice now. Hello, take your sanitizer. Right. Remember to squeeze inside your palms, outside, and then in between the fingers. And always, always, boys and girls, the mask should always be on. And the social distance is maintained by a 1 meter apart, all right? So that we don't spread this disease. And as students, as clever students, let me say, we should not stop reading. We should not stop learning from the online lessons. Let's continue doing it so that by the time we come back to school, we'll all be fresh, we'll be remembering. We would not have forgotten a lot of things that we've been learning. Thank you, boys and girls. We will meet in the next lesson. Bye-bye.
Hi everyone, I'm Josh and I'm back. Even though the schools are closed, I thought about we can still do online classes, learning and reading. You can also do your schoolwork. Until next time, bye!